it's too late, my dear soul. How can I love thee as I ought? And Yahweh extol thy matchless fame, the glorious beauty of thy name.
I never had that tendency towards going to look for work. So even when I was in the corporate world, my private business was I did close shop because I knew that I would come back to it.
Yeah.
So when eventually I left that corporate organization, it was like a smooth ride back into my private company.
Okay. So these are some of the questions I will just be asking, sir, when we go live.
No problem.
But I want
If you ask me the
to.
one I don't know, I'll still tell you.
Oh, wait, though. Why if you want to go live, you should tell me. A favor, please come and help me with this thing. Hey, wahala. I'm supposed to transfer something to this. No, to this iPad. But I can't find the notes. And I don't want to. This phone is too small.
Let me go down. Let me.
Okay. I think I know what I'll do. Let me send it to messages. See, you Shalom to the Bride of Christ worldwide, and welcome to this business and career podcast hosted by the Youth Fellowship of the Bride Assembly, Lagos Church, Ijesha, Lagos, Nigeria. It's amazing to be here. My name is Prosperline Onyejiaka, and today we are going to be bringing you everything about business and career, or even if we can't bring you everything, we are going to be bringing you useful tips that would set you on the paths of success for business and career. And then we have lined up a very two powerful people in both the business and career scene, and so they will be bringing their wealth of knowledge and everything right here on this podcast. So you want to stay tuned, you want to take your pen and paper and jot down as much as you can. One of the hallmarks of adulthood is that at some point you just have to have independence. At some point you have to be a man of your own, a woman of your own, definitely before you maybe come together in marriage or just stay like that. But one of the interesting things about independence is that for you to be independent, you need to be financially stable. And this financial stability can come through a career path or a business or entrepreneurial path. And that is why we have put this podcast together, because we want you to be financially stable, in as much as we know that you are spiritually sound and you are building yourself in the most holy faith. We also want you to be financially stable. And we'll be starting with the business and career session. And to anchor that is no other than our very own Men's Fellowship president. He has more than a decade of experience in the business scene. This person we are talking about is well versed in the business scene, so you know that whatever you're receiving here is nothing but the gospel truth of business, the holy grail of business. Let me not take your time. Let me just quickly introduce you to him. Shalom, sir, and God bless you, sir.
Good afternoon, it's my pleasure.
God bless you, sir. Thank you for joining us in the studio today.
My pleasure.
Yes. So some people are just meeting you for the first time, some youths worldwide. So can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Sam Kamachuku. I am an estate surveyor by training. I read estate management. So when you say business, most of the business we're going to be discussing is going to come from my experience in property.
Okay.
I am a property person, as it were.
Okay.
So if you're talking investments, you're talking entrepreneurship, you're talking of making money. Whatever money I have made by the grace of God, I have made in property. I am married, happily married, if I dare say. I am a Christian.
Okay.
I want to emphasize I am a Christian.
Okay.
I'm emphasizing that because it also guides the kind of business I do. And if you see a Muslim, the average Muslim, you will know he or she is a Muslim.
Yeah, that's true.
If you are bringing a 1 billion naira business to him when it is 2 p.m., when he has to go and pray, he will tell you most of them will tell you to hold on. So if you're also doing business with me, I'll let you know that I am a Christian. And so that it helps me in decision making, which is very critical in business. The company I run, like I said, we are mostly based, we do property business. We also do consultancy for corporate organizations, telecom companies and all that. So that is where we are coming from, and that is what is driving our business.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brother Sam. I can say Brother Sam.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Brother Sam.
Yes.
You've already said some very important things, but let's not rush into it. So there's always this question that I've heard a lot of the time, and I myself have also had that kind of question, and it is, is business something you just wake up to go and do, or is business something that you stumble upon? I'm asking this question because sometimes at the intersection of career, when people finish school, young people finish school, you discover that maybe the job is not forthcoming. And because the job is not forthcoming and they have to put body and soul together, you see that they venture into one business or the other. So from your own experience, how would you describe business? Would you say it's something people stumble upon, or would you say it's a decision people intentionally make?
Okay, that's a very critical and very important question you're asking. For me, there must be some intentionality in going into business. It's not something you stumble upon. It's a decision you need to take with clarity of mind, because business, the kind of business I'm talking about, where you have to stay month on month, nobody's paying you salary, you are all going to depend on what you make. That is what pays your bills. It's not something you do because you have nothing else to do. I tell people, like the property business I do, I tell people 90% of jobless people are estate agents in Lagos. Roughly, every other person is an estate agent, but it's a profession. It's something that people learn. You have to learn. There are rules that guide business. There are secrets in business. Every business has a secret behind it. For you to succeed in any business, there is a secret behind it. There's a reason why somebody is buying this cup and is selling it at a profit, and another person will go into it and will not make a living out of it. The property business we do, one transaction can change your entire life. A single business property transaction can change your life. It can also take you a lifetime to make a single transaction. So you see people who will get up and say, I'm a businessman. What are you doing? They say, I am on my own. That is a recipe for somebody who doesn't have anything doing. That is a hiding place for somebody who doesn't have anything doing. So he's hiding in, I am on my own. On my own is not a business. If you are going to go into a business, you must have a defined position. This is what I'm going to be doing. This is what some people will tell you. You have to have a business plan. You have to scale your business and say, okay, I'm going in my first year, this is what I'm going to do. In my second year, this is where I expect to be. In my third year, this is just like a plane that is taking off. The plane doesn't just take off and start flying. It has to, first of all, do the wrong way. Then it starts climbing. At a point, it will reach the cruising speed, an altitude, and then it starts cruising. So you have a situation these days where people just get up and say, I am a business. There are two contradictions you see in these days, especially with young people now. Some will leave the university. When you leave the university, there are stages. For me, the way I define it is that there are stages in life. Life is in phases. Now, if you don't understand that, you leave the university. What the university does is to prepare you for the world. The university doesn't really equip you. It doesn't. The kind of university we run in Nigeria doesn't equip you. For instance, now I am an estate surveyor. I run an estate office. Now, the same person that did a degree in estate management, he can't come into my office and I immediately give him an instruction to go and do evaluation for me. He can't do it. Okay. Because it comes with experience. Now, that experience, you don't acquire it in the university. That is also one thing you find out in Nigeria today, when in the job market you apply for a job and they say you need to come with 10 years working experience. Where does somebody who's leaving the university that is 25 years, where does he get the 10 years working experience? Do you understand? So, to answer your question directly, if you are going to go into business, you must, from secondary school, if I dare say, as you are going into the university, when they're asking you, what do you want to be in life? You say, I want to be a doctor. Understand that to be a doctor comes with a price. You must know what it means to be a doctor. If you want to be a lawyer, you must know what it means to be a lawyer. If you want to be in one profession or the other, you must know what it takes. You must take time to understand this is what it takes to be a lawyer. Even if you are going to also apply for a job, if you are going to apply for a job in a bank, you must know what the job, there's what they call job description. What are you going to be doing there? The person who's employing you is not employing you because he likes your face. He's employing you because there is something you are going to add value to the person. So if you are going to be in business, you must seek out and know you want to solve a problem. Because it is the problem you're solving that people are going to be paying for.
So in other words, you have to be intentional when you want to set
into business. Exactly.
Okay. While you were just talking about intentionality, you mentioned a couple of things.
Yeah.
One of them was price. You said you have to know the price you have to pay. So I'd say that I'd like to know what skill or what character traits will someone who wants to venture into business, it's very important for someone who wants to venture into business to have. What traits, what skills, set of skills or character traits that person have?
If you are going to venture into a business, there are several categories, several types of businesses you can go into. One, you need to know yourself. You need to know your strengths. You need to know your weaknesses. Now, somebody who has a tendency to steal money should not go into the bank because you are going to be exposed to people's money. And if you know you cannot stand the temptation of not taking that money, you don't go into bank. Now, if you are going to go into a private business, you must know, for instance, like I said, most of the examples I'm going to be giving you from my own personal experience. Now, if you are going to go into property business, you must understand the dynamics of the business. You must understudy those who have been in the business before. It is not something that you wake up today, possibly your parents are rich, or you have encountered money somewhere and you set up an office. Now, there are factors, there are things that will always play out. Those of us who are in the business, the experience we acquire over years is not something you can't trade it. It's not something that you can't dispense with it.
Okay.
So that is there are mistakes I have made when I was starting. That if you want to come into property business and you identify me and say, this brother is doing this kind of business and it is the kind of thing I want to do, you will now you can link up with me to guide you so that you don't make a similar mistake that I have made. That is also the kind of thing you see in our able traders who do business, who have one boy.
Come to that, the apprenticeship
scheme. Yeah. It is just that kind of thing because the Oga have gone through. He knows what to buy. Yeah. He knows what to sell. He knows when to sell. He knows those to sell to. So he brings in a boy who understudies him, and over time becomes an expert in the same business. You understand? And then flows from there. So it's not something that you just get up and then you rush in. And it may work for some people. It may work. There is grace. There are some people who if they package ice blocks and sell it, they'll make money from it. That is different. But I'm talking of the average person that wants to go into business. You must understudy and know what you are going into.
Okay. So for you, was it a decision to go into business from the onset, or was it something you came upon by chance?
No. When I left the university, incidentally, I worked firstly in an estate surveying firm. So that is where we say I caught my surveying teeth. What it means is that is where I learned the rudiments of the business. Do you understand? Now, I worked in a firm, Ekomakama, it was Ekomakama Orlando and Company. There were 3 partners actually at the time. Kind of the medium level company. I worked there, understood what goes into the property business. Now, from there, when I felt my wings were a bit strong enough, I resigned there and joined a bigger firm, a second firm, Jide Taiwan Company. Maybe people would have. I joined Jide Taiwan Company. I did my bit there before leaving. Now, when I left Jide Taiwan Company, I set up with a few of my friends. We set up a small practice where we tried our wings again. Of course, nothing good comes easy. I tell people, success doesn't come, you work for it.
That's true.
Success doesn't come. Nobody wakes up. You don't go to sleep a pauper and wake up a millionaire. You work for it. You work. A lot of work goes into it. So to answer your question directly, the way I started my life, the tendency was always for me to be in private business. So even when I ventured out of business, when an opportunity came for me to go into the corporate world, I always knew I was going to come back to my business because I didn't shut down the business.
Okay.
I didn't shut it down because I knew I was going to come back someday to it.
Right.
So I would say I had that intention to always be my own. It may also be the kind of life that we have, our attitudes to life, the way we take things. Actually, there are people who are outgoing. There are people who are more reserved. So you have to know the kind of person you are. You also need to know the things you can do and the things that you cannot do. You have to understand the thing you are going into. Otherwise, you'll be caught off guard.
Okay.
You understand? So that is the way it is. For me, I always knew I can't work for somebody for life.
All right. So
yes.
Thank you so much, Pastor. So another question that so many people would have, I also have that question, is how do you decide what business to go into? Now, for you, you already knew that you were going to go into estate surveying because you had a background. That was what you did your degree in. But for other people who probably do not have a background, and for other people, would I say that just trying to put body and soul together, but yet they want to build a successful business, how would you say that somebody who wants to go into business should decide what business to go into? Is it based on profitability? Is it based on what everybody is doing? How do we decide what business to go into?
Okay, to answer that question, I would say to decide what you want to go into, number one, you should look at what makes you happy. What is your strength? What is it that you would do? For instance, footballers will tell you, even if you're not paying them, that they will play the football. And now, because of playing the football, somebody will identify and say, I want to watch you and pay you to watch you because you are doing it so well. So if you put money first, you will run into a problem. That is number one. Number two, what will determine the kind of business you are going to do will be you identify a problem.
Okay.
Like I told you, the only reason why somebody is paying, I will write a report, stay on my laptop and I type it and send it to somebody and he pays me 1 million naira, is because I'm adding value to him. That valuation report is going to enable him secure a loan. A bank will look at the report I wrote and on the basis of that report, take a decision to give him a loan that will enable him make money. So if I'm just going to scribble something and he will not answer you. You understand? So you must be in a place where you are able to add value. You must be able to add value. Okay. You must look at Nigeria. Dangote looked at Nigeria and saw the queues, the difficulties we are having in having access to fuel. He built a refinery. It is not because he likes Nigeria too much. It is because he saw a gap and he wants to fill that gap. In filling that gap, he's doing what? He's making money. Excuse me.
Yeah.
In doing that, he's making money. So it is the same thing. Now, I see a plot of land. You see the same plot of land. The way I see it as a professional is different from the way you see it.
Of course.
When I see the plot of land, I see it, I don't see the land. I see a structure on it. When I see a structure on it, I'm looking at it from a professional view to say, if I put a block of 6 flats here, somebody pays me 2 million naira per annum, that means I'm making 12 million naira per year for this block of flats. Alternatively, I don't even have to put a block of flats there. I can put a tent there and make it an event center. And people will come there and will renting it. I can do that block of flats. Instead of renting it out permanently to anybody, I'll be doing short let. Somebody comes from abroad, I'll fix it up perfectly, like what you have abroad. People come in from abroad. Instead of going to stay in the hotel, they come there a week, they pay me 180,000 naira. So you must have that
value-adding mindset.
There must be something you are doing. And what also puts you above your competition is that you are a step ahead of them. Because there are 1,001 estate firms in Nigeria. I'm not, Lagos is, like I said, every person who doesn't have a work in Lagos is an estate agent. But those who are professionals in it are also still there. And then there is something that is very, 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 very scarce. in Nigeria especially, and among young people, I dare say, integrity. Integrity. What we do rises, your success rises and falls on integrity.
Oh.
It rises and falls. The success you make in business, if somebody comes and buys this cup from me today and discovers tomorrow that I sold a fake to him, he will not want to come back because everybody wants a value for his money.
That's true.
Now, I'll tell you an incident that happened recently in my office. Somebody came, an agent came to my office to rent a property. Now, when he came, I didn't remember him again because so many of them come. So he was telling me, you have forgotten me, I am Charles. I said, I know so many Charles. Which Charles is this? I'm also careful in who because his phone, you never can say.
Yeah.
So he said, no, I remember there was somebody that came to your office. I brought somebody to your office at the time. And when they came behind me to come and make the payment and you called me. So people would have that opportunity and say, it's an opportunity for me to make more money. But when that thing, I had forgotten. But for him, it was extraordinary because it's not common in the market. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when he came, he was writing me that they had come, discussed with me. He had come with the client and discussed with me. Then, you know the way they work. One agent will connect to the other one will connect to the other. So 2 or 3 of them now excluded him who came first. They now connived among themselves to exclude him and come and pay for the apartment. And when he came, I did it to preserve my own integrity and to also, because if he goes to discover tomorrow that those people came to pay for the place, it will be like I was also part of the conniver. So I quickly, surreptitiously, I called him. So he was reminding me. I said, I have forgotten. So when he now came, he felt at ease to deal with me. That is just an example I'm giving you. So integrity is very, very scarce, but it's very, very key. Even for the client, the people you are going to be dealing with in property business, if somebody entrusts property to you to manage for him, it is a lot of investment to build property in Nigeria. Now, I have a client, a Yoruba man, who is in Canada, who people will be asking him, he tells me this, that the person he's dealing with is an Igbo man, and he tells them that he has never seen. Because people have, unfortunately, they have mindsets about.
Yes.
So they are, as far as I'm concerned, they are good Igbo men. They are bad Igbo men. They are good Yoruba men. They are bad Yoruba. Every other person. But it depends on you have to carve a niche for yourself and decide this is what I want to present to people outside. This is how I want them to see me. So integrity is key in whatever you are doing. If somebody cannot trust you, whether you are going into employment, whether you are going to be in your private business, if your boss in the office cannot entrust a responsibility to you and see and go home and sleep and know that you are going to deliver on it, then you are only a disaster waiting to happen. Yeah.
All right, sir. So when you now eventually venture into business, what are some of the things that you need to put in place to ensure that your business is successful? So in recent times, we've heard about, registering your business name so that you have it registered, then you have a legal backing. When people want to do business with you, they see that you're registered, it gives them certain level of confidence. But from your own experience, what are some of the things that you have to put in place? Now that you've decided you want to go into business, you've seen a place of value that you want to add to the society, you know that you have the necessary skills, you have integrity, you have, that intentional mindset. Now you've decided to go into it and you want to be successful at it. What are the things you put in place?
Okay, like you said, you have mentioned most of the things I was going to say. Basically, I would say if the things you need to put in place, if you have the skill, of course, you need to register your business. Depending on the kind of business you do, whether you want to incorporate it or you want to register it, but it must be seen. For anybody to take you serious, it must be registered. And then there are statutory rules, taxes to be paid, there are levies, there are professional bodies to join, and all that. Professional bodies would give you that edge to say whoever is coming to deal with you to know that yes, you are a professional. You can afford to rely on what you are saying. If you are an accountant, you need to get your certifications right. You need to be in good state. You have to be qualified to render the service you are rendering. And then there is something that is very, very, very important. I'm going to tell you this as a Christian. You can't afford not to be prayerful. I'm going to say it again. My sister, out there it is very, very hot. You cannot afford to let your guards down. It is. Let me tell you a story now. Let me tell you, this one is life. It is the property I'm telling you is still there. Now, one of the properties I managed became vacant. We went. The tenant has left. So usually, I would not put the property back in the market if it is not ready to be occupied.
Yes.
Now we went into that property. There is a 3-bedroom flat. In the 3 flats, the other 2 flats, the wardrobes were all scattered. When I say scattered, it's like torn down. One particular room, the wardrobe was not touched. The room literally was not being used. And you see, if you come into that room, what you perceive from that room will tell you something was going on there. And the man that was saying this house sells this thing that you women used to tie all these wigs. So that is where he goes in there to do his things. So if you are in the same line with that kind of person, you are doing the same kind of business, and you are the kind of person that every Friday you are lying down on your bed, and when you get up, I'm online, I'm doing online. How are you going to be content with that kind of person? So prayer and being a committed Christian, because the people who we are contending with, they are not joking. They are not playing. So you must belong somewhere. You must be anchored. Something must be holding you. You must have something that when push comes to shove, you say, God, see me. Do you understand? And so prayer is key in whatever we are going to be doing, whatever you are going to be doing. It is not prayer to make my leader not see me. It is going to come from a place of necessity. It is going to be part of, as you are preparing, that you are going out every day. I tell people, look, Christianity is not practiced in the church. Christianity is not practiced. Church is like a training school. Church is a place where you come, if they tell you, there is fasting, they're only teaching you that you should fast. That Friday fasting is not the fasting. It is only a training to tell you you need fasting to join something to what you are doing. So it is for you to determine that I have been trained to fast. So in order to support my business, this is the day I'm going to be fasting for my business. This is the day I'm going to be fasting for my family. This is the day I'm going to be doing this. This is the day I'm going to be. Daddy will tell you about Koshkaris.
Yeah.
The days he doesn't go out, he stays indoors completely. You may not afford to stay indoors completely, but you can find your own way to make sure that you are in right standing with God. So having prepared, having your skill, some people have all the skills and they can't find a job. Some people have done BSc, they have done masters, they have ICANN, they have done PhD, and they cannot find a job. So in that situation, what do? You have to cry to God and say, you need to do something now, I've done my bit. So that's the way I'll respond to it.
Oh, that's very insightful. and it's different because we are Christians.
Yes.
And so while if this were to just be a normal business seminar, you hear all the other tips aside prayer. But the fact that we're emphasizing on prayer is actually what makes the difference. Okay, we'll go on a short break now. If you're watching us, we're about to go on the short break. But you have the opportunity to ask questions. After this session, you have the opportunity to ask questions. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with Brother Sam, and then you have the opportunity to ask your questions. Please stay tuned. Shalom and God bless you.
Three, two, one, we're live.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the Career and Business Seminar hosted by the Youth Fellowship of the Bride Assembly Church. And we've been speaking to Brother Sam Nkamanu, and he's the Men's Fellowship President of the Bride Assembly Church. He has over more than a decade of experience in business, and he has been giving us some very useful and insightful tips into how to set up a business, certain things you need to do as a business person. Before we went on that short break, we were discussing about some of the things you need to do to set up a successful business. And aside being a person of integrity, getting your certifications, registering your business, and being prayerful, I think there are still some more things that you wanted to add before we went on that short break. So, over to you.
Yes, in addition to the few things I've said, to be successful in business also, like I mentioned earlier, the business you're going into most times is not rocket science. There are people who have done that business before. So there's what they call mentoring. You can get a mentor, identify somebody who have traveled the same road you have traveled, link up with the person, and not make it absolutely clear that you are coming to the person not for him to give you money, but to mentor you, to guide you, to teach you, as it were. Because you only stop learning when you are dead.
That's true.
You can't ever stop learning. And if somebody who has traveled the road is holding you by the hands, then you really make the same mistakes the person has made. That is number one. Number two is savings. The tendency for most young people who are going into business to regard whatever money that comes into their hands as income and spend it the way it's coming is high, especially in the age of internet, where you see all sorts of things, and consumption now is key. Everybody is buying, who wants to buy a G-Wagon and all whatnot. So you need to know that when you set up a business, you need to grow the business, just like somebody who has a child. The child has to grow up. So you are going to be sure to continue to invest in the business. Investment may not be money only. Investment of your time. To set up a business is time consuming. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of things. So you must be ready and willing to put in those sacrifices. Sacrifice of time, sacrifice of your resources, sacrifice of everything that is required. Like I said, the skill you have, if you have the skill for that business, will teach you already the things that you need, you require. I'm not going to talk about the professionalism, because if you are not professional in what you are doing, then it's a matter of time before you close shop.
Yeah.
So you must be vast in if anybody is looking for an accountant, you should be the number one person he's going to look for. And if he comes to you, you must make sure that he leaves satisfied. Now, the greatest source of clients that you are going to get, the easiest way of getting clients is through referral. A referral, somebody you have done business with and who refers another person to you. That means that is the only time you know that you are succeeding, because the person is satisfied. For him to introduce another person to you means he is satisfied. But if you are in the place where you deal with people and they go away, and next time you are calling them again, they don't want to pick up your call, then, like I said, those are things that will show you that it's only a matter of time. You will be closing shop.
All right,
So,
you've mentioned two very important aspects of setting up a business. I was going to speak about one, but now that you've mentioned it, let's quickly get into it. How can young people who are venturing into business build active mentorship? How can they build that active mentorship? How do they find the right mentors? And secondly, how do they maintain that mentor-mentee relationship?
Now, it is very simple. It is very simple as far as I'm concerned. For those of us that run professional firms, if you are going to start, if you are going to go into consultancy, for instance, now that means you are going to train under an existing consultant. Now, the mistake most people make is that you do not know the time to start making money. When you leave the university, listen to me, when you leave the university, immediately you leave the university, your focus should not be to make money. Your focus a year, 2 years, up to 5 years after you leave the university is not money making. That is the time when you are in training. That is the time of your certification. That is the time of your professionalization. So if you mix it up and the time you are supposed to be doing those certifications, you now start looking for money, you will miss it. So in the time that you are looking for those getting those professional certificates, is also an opportunity for you to now begin to see people who you are training under. You know the kind of person this is. in your interactions with them, with their bosses, with your acquaintances, with the people, professional people in the field, you will know the person that gels with you. You are able to reach out to the person and say, look, this is what I'm thinking. Oga, this thing, I know you have been doing this property business. I need, this is what I actually want to do in the future. Please, I need guidance. I'm not asking you to, because of the way things are now, people are scared and skeptical about such, but you make it obvious from the onset that this is what, and the kind of person that you are also would, will make you, make such a situation attractive to the person you are talking to. I'm going to be, I'm not going to shy away from the fact that you also need to be careful about the person you want to make your mentor. Because they are sheep, they are wolves in sheep clothing out there. So you need to also be careful. You need to use intelligence. You need to be careful. You need to be circumspect in choosing who your mentor is. Because it's like a mirror that you're looking at. You have seen the person. Before you choose me as your mentor, you have looked at me and feel, okay, this is the way this man is doing his thing. This is actually when I set up a practice, this is the way I want my practice to be. Because the way I run my organization is not the way another person runs his own. It's not the way another person runs his own. So you may want to do your own and do it in such a way that it is global. And me, not only Okota a day.
Okay.
Only Lagos a day. And so if you now come to me, you will not be able to...
global picture that you want to go.
Do you understand? Yeah. But also, you need to know that you can start little. You can start little. And also, you can volunteer.
Very important.
You can volunteer without necessarily waiting for somebody to pay you. You can go and volunteer and say, oh, don't pay me. Let me just be coming. I just want to, I just want to be leaving the house. We're on holiday. I just don't want to be staying at home doing nothing. Okay, you know, they say, an idle hand is the devil's workshop. I don't want to be devil's workshop. So you say, you know the way it is, so I don't have money to pay you. And no problem, sir. By the time you go there 2 weeks, if he's a man of conscience, he himself will say, how does he transport himself to this place? Before you know it, money has started changing hands. Before you know it, he has started engaging you in one form or the other. Before you know it, you have started getting experience. Before you know it, you have so endeared yourself to him that he can't do without you. So when you see people saying, I don't have work, I don't have work, I don't have anything doing, I can't find work, I'm writing application, I'm waiting for this. Me, I look at it and say, no problem, be writing, be waiting. Be waiting. While you are waiting, people are still doing things. The truth is that the time when everybody was depending on government to bring employment is gone. It's no longer there, especially in Nigeria. It's not, the opportunity is no longer there. If CBN wants to advertise today, they will do assuming they do the advert, they are doing the advert to fulfill all righteousness. Because the people who are going to get the job have already gotten the job. Yeah. I'm sorry to say, but that is the reality we are in. So if you are not in that place where you get a job in CBN and you are here waiting for a day, thank God you have a parent that is feeding you. But you get to a stage where you need to move out.
That's true.
You need to move out. So those are the issues.
Thank you so much. That's a very salient point, especially on the aspect of volunteering. I would say that I'm a product of volunteering. Before I stepped into the university, I knew I always wanted to do communications, especially mass communications, communications generally, but I was more interested in mass communication. And so when Bright TV was set up, I put my head in and said, I'm going to do this. And we are here today. We are here today. Okay. Let me say this will be the last question before we take questions from the audience. Okay. You mentioned about growing your business. Yeah. Now, to someone who is just venturing into business, growing your business might seem like something vague because they are wondering, how can I grow my business? What are the things I need to put in place to grow my business? Or okay, I ventured into business, I'm already making money. How do I now invest back into my business? And how do I protect my capital? How do I do all of these things to ensure that this business keeps moving?
Okay, if I get your question right, if you have set up a business and you are thinking of, number one, you are investing in the business will partly be to sustain the business.
Yes.
Which dovetails into one of the issues I raised earlier of curtailing unnecessary spending.
Okay.
You need to know what to buy and what not to buy, when to buy it and when not to buy it. Now, any business has seasons. At infancy, you start a business 1 year, 2 years, God blesses you, and you are doing well in the business. Excuse me. You need to understand, is this the right time for me to buy cars? Is this the right time for me to travel abroad? Is this the right time for me to, what benefit is these expenses I'm going to incur now? How is it going to impact on the business? The other thing you need to understand is you need to separate your personal money from the business. Your business is separate from you. Your business money is not your personal money. I'm saying this especially in this season where they are introducing taxes. Where they are going to be, from next year when Tinubu wins, they are going to be more serious about taxes. So your business money is not your personal money. So you need to understand that to separate your income from your business income. So that you don't see a business makes 1 million naira, you say, oh, you have made 1 million naira, without knowing that that 1 million naira, depending on the kind of business you do, may not be coming consistently. Like I said it earlier, and if you remember, I said the property business we do, you can do a business, one business transaction, one sale of property can change your life entirely. For life, you will never be poor again. It can also take you a lifetime to make one transaction. So you need to understand the kind of business you are doing. You need to know what the cash flow is like. You need to know what the trend is like. There are people who are into agriculture, who export agricultural products. For instance, cashew nut. They export cashew nut. You need to know cashew nut comes in seasons. You need to know when a season is for cashew. You need to know if you are doing palm oil. You need to know that also comes in season. You need to know when is the season for this. Otherwise, you just run yourself under. You understand? Yes. So that's the way I look at it. It comes, that is part of the skill you need to acquire. You have the skill to know, okay, this is the decision to make at this time, this is the time to hold on, and this is the time to take this.
Thank you so much, sir. This has been a very insightful session with our very own brother Sam. He is the president of the Bride Assembly Men's Youth Fellowship, and he's been telling us a lot of things about, venturing into business. So now you know what to do when you want to venture into business. He has told us about being intentional, what to do to set up your business, how to grow your business, and several other things. I hope you've been taking notes. So at this time, we're going to take a short break. And then when we come back, we will be taking your questions. So if you have questions, now's the time to send them in. If you want to know anything about business, now is the time to send them in. But let me put a caveat here. We might not be able to take all of the questions today on this business podcast, but the Youth Fellowship will ensure that your questions are answered. So you get the answers to your question. But for those of you that can get your questions answered now, I think you should send them in. There's a line that's going to be shown on the TV screen. You can send in your questions there. And when we come back from this break, our brother will be answering your questions. Shalom and God bless you. Stay tuned.
You already made me a beloved son. Always protected in your love. is in you I find my peace. All things are working for me. Nothing they do can bring me down. Blessings they follow my life. So powerfully held by God. Nothing dies in my hand. I carry the favor and the wisdom of the Lord. Grace is working for me. Cause your love is more than you ever hit me.
All right, welcome back to this career and business seminar. We've been having a very swell time here in the studio. We've been learning. I can tell you right now, I think I can set up a business and not really make too many mistakes because I have been put on the right path. I know what to do right now when I want to set up a business, and all thanks to our brother Sam Kamanu. So I told you that before we go on this, before we went on that short break, we will be taking questions when we come back. But what I did not mention was that we have some people right here in the studio. We have a live audience, a sitting audience with us in the studio. And so we'll be taking some questions from our sitting audience. And of course, you watching us online right now, we will also be taking your questions. But let's head over to our sitting audience where we have questions. Who's going to be the first person?
Okay. God bless you, Sister Kachi. God bless you, Brother Sam Kamachuku. God bless you, sir. I've been so blessed by all you've been saying all through the podcast so far. My question is in line with what you've been saying, and it's like the next step to what we've been discussing. We've learned how to set up ourselves in life to choose what we want to do. We've learned how to get a job, put yourself in a career, even start a business. We also learned about the character that makes you excel in whatever venture you're going into. But my question is, if and when you start your business, you've set it up, you've done everything, how do you grow that business? In line with what we are doing, what we see today as reality in 2026, that you may not see too much success growing your business using the traditional referral system like you mentioned. What is the counsel you give us, this our generation, in the line of social media and other means of growing your business? What is the role of social media marketing like Facebook, Meta ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, Google ads to grow your business? I know real estate is one of them, but how can you advise us to grow our business? That's my question, sir.
All right, President, I'm over to you.
Okay, you asked the question and you literally answered it yourself. You asked the question, you literally answered it. The advantage that you people in this generation have is the information technology. One thing I also need you to understand is, what do you call success? What is your definition of success? When do you say, I have succeeded in business? Is it when you are like Dangote? Is it when you grow your business that you know, you don't no longer have time to attend prayer meetings. Now, you have to scale. You have to scale. That is what you do. You scale. That is why I mentioned business plan from the onset. Now, if you are setting up a business, you need to have a plan to say, I'm setting up in 2026. I'm setting up this agri business. Now, I'm setting up a poultry farm with 100 beds. My target is that by so and so time next year, this number of beds should have grown to from 100 to 200. Then you put structures in place that will drive you from point A to point B. Now, your internet will come into marketing. Your internet will come into information that will enable you gather information from people who have passed through that road, assuming you don't want to go through the route of mentoring. The information technology will assist you in various ways, but you need to scale. And in scaling, you need to know what you have, know the information you have, know the skill you have, and then put it into use in arriving from point A to point B. Now, when you arrive point B successfully, of course, you scale again until you continue to grow it gradually and gradually and gradually and gradually. It's not going to be a leap from ground zero to mountain top. No, it doesn't work like. If you do it like that, you are going to fail. That's my answer to you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, is there any more questions from the audience? All right, we have one on the screen. It says, what can easily be a discouragement for a starter in business? That's Brother Akko from Lagos. He's asking what can be a discouragement for a starter in business. Okay,
what can be a discouragement for you, for an individual in business? The greatest discouragement you can have is when you have an expectation that is not being met. When you have a mindset that, okay, in the first 1 year of your business, I haven't done this, this is what your expectation is, and you are focused on that expectation, and that expectation is not being met, of course you'll be discouraged. But if you have an understanding, business failure, the businesses fail. Don't get it twisted. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that once you set up a business, pray, by the time you wake up tomorrow, the thing is flourishing. No, every other person would have just been living in Brand Assembly Church now. You understand? If you fail, it is only for you to learn how that this one you tried you didn't succeed with it.
That's right.
So you do what? You re-strategize.
That's right.
You learn from your mistakes, and of course, the business, there's no, except you are going to reinvent the wheel. There's no business you are doing that other people have not done. So if you are doing a business and you fail, you fail, then go back, re-strategize, look into what other people are doing who are succeeding. Do the same thing they are doing and you will succeed. It's as simple as that. So if you say because you have tried once and you fail, you are discouraged and then you abandon it, I don't know what else you need to do. If you fail once, you try again. The Bible says the righteous shall fail how many times? It says 7 times. It's not just failing even in our business, we fail. I have tried, there are certain types of the business I have also tried, and it didn't work out. You move on. You dust yourself, put yourself together, and move ahead. Before you know it, the one that will succeed will compensate over and over again over the ones that failed. That is the truth. That's the reality. So those failures may come to Satan will come to test you to say, this one has failed. Now let's see how you are going to. The poultry business I mentioned, I have seen people who set up poultry business, and in a day, in a single day, they lost 5,000 birds.
Wow.
Yes. They didn't die. They cleaned up the place, disinfected it, and brought new birds. By the time they did the second one, they succeeded, and it compensated for the ones that died. So, will you say, if he gave up at that initial stage, of course, the success he encountered in the next one wouldn't be there.
That's true. Yeah, it reminds me of Isaac Watts, the person who invented the light bulb.
Thank you.
Now, Isaac Watts tried 1,000 times to actually invent the light bulb, but he only got it right at the 1,000th time. And so he was being interviewed, and they asked him, you failed 999 times. Why didn't you give up? He said, this was what he said, according to that quote. He said, because I have learned 999 ways not to create a light bulb.
Exactly.
So it's actually your attitude to discouragement or failure that determines whether you take that as a lesson or you take that as a judgment or a, will I call it, a final note on your business. So, Bra Ako, I hope you've learned something.
Let me also add this. If you are going to look at discouragement, it depends on the person also. If you are doing business, if you are a businessman, you burn the bridge. As it is now, I don't know what they're going to pay me to employ me now. I don't know. I can't even fit into paid employment any longer. I'm being very modest. I can't fit into a routine of getting up by 7 o'clock so that I'll be in the office by 9 o'clock. Because I've gotten used to my planning, my life and my business, this is what I want to do today. On the day it rains heavily, I may operate from my house and I don't have to come to the office and nothing will go bad. So if you are waiting to say, I tried this and it failed, and so I'm discouraged, and you put your hand in your bosom and you are crying and you are weeping and you are crying over spilled milk, then I can tell you for free, you are not yet ready to do business because you actually will fail. And it depends on how you take that failure, whether you take it as discontentment or you are taking it as a learning curve that I have learned how not to do this. So next time, I'm not going to do it like this again. I'm not going to this pitfall that made me to fail, because something will definitely make you to fail. Right. There is something that happened that made it to fail. Maybe you sold too much on credit. Maybe you did not have the right product that people wanted at the time. Maybe you invested too early at the time. Maybe you invested in the wrong product. So you need to know what actually led to the failure. And you learn from it and make sure you don't repeat it, because they say it's only a madman that does the same thing over and over and again and expect a different result. So if you know what caused the failure, you don't do that again. You learn from it and say, look, I've learned from it. And that is also, it's only when you are past, because if you don't even fail, how do you teach another person? The person you want to mentor, how will you? That I have experiences because I have tried it and I've seen it succeed. I have tried a different thing and I've seen it fail. So I can tell you for free that, look, if you are going to build a block of flats in Agor and you are not going to do a good foundation, the property will sink and you are going to lose your investment. So it's coming from the place of experience because I've seen it happen. And so if somebody comes from abroad and he sees Agor land that is dry on the surface, and they're telling him you have to do a wrap foundation or you have to do a pipe foundation, he says, you're wasting money. And then he overrules you and does the one he wants to do. When it happens, you only say, I told you. So for me, your failure can be, it depends on what you want to make out of it. It can be a source of, a training field for you. You can also just give up on it and say, I have failed, let me move on. That means you're not really prepared for the business.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. So, Bra Ako, you should know that you would experience discouragement or failures in business. Okay, this second question says, what can you define as starting small in business? Like, how much is the amount? So, in other words, can you quantify it? Can you say this amount is starting small, or is it unquantifiable? So, what would you define as starting small?
Okay, remember, it depends on the kind of business you are doing. What business are we discussing? If, for instance, you are coming into my business, the kind of business I do, property consultancy, you just left the university, you have done a training, you have gone through somebody's office, done your pupil surveying stage, and then you want to set up an office. You are looking for an office in Victoria Island. Okay? No, I'll tell you the advantage of each. I'll tell you the disadvantage of each. Now, you are looking for an office in Victoria Island. An average office in Victoria Island now is about maybe 120,000 naira per square meter. Okay? Now, for someone who's starting afresh, who's starting new, you say, no, I don't have 1,000. Okay, for an average office now will be about 30 square meters. So you are looking for, on the average, 500, maybe 15 million naira to set up the office, furnishing and all that, to start. Just office and furnishing. Now, when I say starting small, I'm saying don't look for 15 million naira. Start from somewhere. Start from Ago. Start from, build it from somewhere. You can grow gradually and end up in Victoria Island. You can, there are offices, there are people who run property businesses in Ikoyi. Now, that is the kind of clients they get. Their primary market is Ikoyi. Some other people, their primary market is Lekki. So it depends on what you want. So if you want to operate in the Lekki axis and you don't have the capital to start in the Lekki axis, don't fold your hands. That is what I mean by start small. Don't fold your hands and say, I'm waiting for the time when I'll get money to set up in Ikoyi. Start somewhere. Begin somewhere. If it is agribusiness that you want to do, you want to set up a farm, you don't have money for 1,000 beds, start with 20. You don't have money for fish pond that will take 1 million fingerlings, start with 100. Let it be that you are doing something. Don't fold your hands and say you are waiting until the day you make it big. That is my response.
I'm smiling because this reminds me of one of the, will I say, the jokes we have of motivational speakers when you see somebody saying, I started my supermarket with 1 sachet of Milo and 1 sachet of Milo. Okay, so in other words, start small. So you get the message. Even if you're going to start with 1 sachet of Milo and 1 sachet of Milo, just start. All right. The most important thing is that you've started and that you're growing. Okay, do we have more questions? All right, this question says, Shalom and God bless you all. My name is Brad David from Lagos State, Nigeria. My question is in the area of real estate property selling. For instance, one has a property for sale. How do we get that property visible to a buyer? Do we send it to a property agent, or are there groups that we can send the property to so as to get it into the property market for the right buyer to locate it? I currently have 2 properties for sale at the moment. That's why I'm asking, sir. God bless you, sir.
Okay, he asked the question, and like I said, he already has the answers to those questions. He has listed the thing about some of these things is that there are actually no cut and dried process for it. Now, you have a property. If you are doing property business, you must know who your clients are. As I am now, if I have a property, I know the person I can introduce that kind of property to. And who should be interested in it. It doesn't mean that he will be interested in it. He can be interested in it. Now, where that fails, I have a group of people who I trust that I do business with, who I introduce it to. Now, where that fails, I have, like you mentioned here, a WhatsApp group of estate people who do estate business that I can, a wider group of people who you can circulate that property to. Now, you need to be careful. Like I mentioned earlier, I will say it again, half of the people in Lagos who have no job are estate agents. And you need to be sure the person you are dealing with. Because if there is any issue, the buck will stop at your table. At the time when we started this business, we used to have Guardian newspaper. Every Monday, Guardian newspapers has what they call a property section. That is where we paid for advertising properties that we had to rent and properties we wanted to sell. Now, God has made it so that internet have helped us. You have apps that you can subscribe to and you list your property in them, and people even from abroad will call, make inquiries, and close transactions with you. It all depends on what information you have. You have a group, WhatsApp groups, real estate, but the important thing is be sure of the people you are joining, be sure of the group you are joining so that you don't end up in the wrong hands. One cannot be too careful in these days, especially for security, because there's been instances where people who you do not know, who will reach out to you and say, you have this property, I'm interested, can we inspect, where do we meet? You go there to meet them and the person gets kidnapped. So these are the times, these are the seasons that we are in. So you have to now provide your own guide. You have to be sure of who you are dealing with and what you are dealing with. If it's a good property, I can also tell you for free. If it's a good property, you shouldn't be asking this. You shouldn't be asking how you're going to sell it, because those property investors are all over the place.
All right, thank you so much. So I hope the brother that asked that question has his answer. Let's go back to the audience before we come back to the screen. I think there's a question from the sitting audience.
God bless you, sir. I really appreciate all you have been saying. And we are learning by God's grace. Okay, I have a question. I'm opportune to, with the virtue of my office, to sit with some people. And while talking with them, you hear them say about a young man that said the numbers of years he used in school would have, if he had used it in learning business, that by now he would have been a very successful person. About 2 or 3 persons like that. I want to know, I want you to balance it. Where we are now in Nigeria, what really pays? I don't know how to put it in the way you explain it better. Is it after your secondary school or a time in your life you just go directly into business before thinking of, I'm digressing a bit, but I want an answer for people that are just coming up also. According to what I counsel, the man I counsel, the young guy I counsel, that he spent some years, and if he had done business by now, he would have been paid off and start his own business by now, own his own shop. So I really want you to balance it to the youth. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sidney. The truth really is, like I said also, you need to know what you want. You need to know what you want. The important thing is to know what fits you. There is no single fits all in life.
Sorry, let me butt in a bit. I think the question comes from this mindset that goes on amongst the youth now. Now there are 2 schools of thoughts among the youth. You have the school of thought that says school is a scam, so don't bother going to school, just venture into your business and do it. And then you have the other school of thought that says you can combine both. And then you have the third school of thought that says focus on school. Once you have that education, you can easily merge it with, business and all of that. So
I understand. Well, the point I want to make is that the person that is saying school is a scam, the person that said school is a scam, you also understand that there are people who didn't go to school, who left primary school and went into trading, that are not successful. There are those, some of them, not every one of them is Koskaris. It's not all of them that is Koskaris. Okay? Now, there are also people who did not. I have a very good friend of mine. I am not as successful as he is in property business. I went to university. I don't think he finished secondary school. But if you see the estate he has in Bagada, you will marvel. Yeah? So all these things have to do with your personality and your ability to see what I told you, see a need and meet that need. Are you in a place where an opportunity arises and you are able to see it as an opportunity instead of a problem? Dangote saw fuel queues in Nigeria. Instead of seeing it as a problem, he saw it as an opportunity and is making money out of it today. So if somebody comes to me and asks me, is it better for me? Is it not better for me to go to school, not to have gone to school, and instead that time I'm using to go to school, spend it, go and do business, and I would have been settled now. Who said if you went to school that he would have been settled by now? Is it God? And who said there are people who went to school and are also doing well in business? I know quite a number of them. Went to school, came out of school. Now, what the university does for you is that it opens your mind to opportunities. It shows you, it may not come to show you, okay, we'll go, I'm reading business administration. It tells you the theories of business. It doesn't tell you, this is where you go to buy this cup. It doesn't do that. But the man who went to Idumota to go and learn trade, we will see where his oga goes to buy the cup and starts buying it. But in terms of scale, the person who went to the university, who has experience, will, of course, if it is his gift, remember, it's also business. Money is also a gift. There are people who would, for this pen that I'm holding in my hand, they give it to them and they will make millions out of it. While all me I see is to use it and write a financial report. It's true. So, like I was saying from the onset, there is no one model fits all. If the person went to school and along the line discovered that he should have gone into business, there is nothing wrong with it. It's not late. The only person who stops learning is the dead man. The person who went to university comes out. I mentioned it here now. Those times he's using to do certifications. If he discovers that, look, yes, I have a degree now, but I don't think I want to continue in this line, he can still go into business. And he's more equipped with information that will enable him excel in the business he's doing. So he's going to school is not a disadvantage for him. It actually gives him more, it's an added advantage for him. Now, if the other man that didn't want to go to school from the onset, if there are some people who send them to school, break their head into two, take this paper and put it inside their head, they will never understand what they are talking about. Their mind and heart will only be like the Onisha trader. When you are discussing with him, he's counting the money, he will not make mistake. So that kind of person, he will have no business sending him to school. So leave him to go and sort out himself in the business he's learning. So, but you will not say because he went and he succeeded in business like that, that every other person should not go to school. No. That's my answer to him.
Thank you so much. I think it all boils down to education. You know, we go to school to get educated, and education comes in different instances. You have the formal education and you have the informal education. Yeah. While you were talking, sir, you mentioned about understudying someone who has, who is already successful in that line of business. So if as a business person, you do not go to school, but you have someone to understudy, that's still some form of education. Exactly. So in other words, let's say education is not a scam, so just get educated. All right, we're still looking at some questions. We'll take 2 more questions because we have to come to the career session, and we have someone who is waiting to wow your mind. You're a 9-to-5er, you've been wondering how to navigate it and be successful. We'll have someone who is going to teach you the tips to do exactly just that. So we'll be taking 2 more questions. All other questions will be answered, but maybe not just here in the studio. So this question says, Shalom, brethren. My question is that, is it a must for us to graduate the university before going into business? As for me now, I don't have anyone to sponsor me into the university, but I'm learning work and have it in mind to set up business. What can I do? I think this question was just answered by the question Bra Sydney asked. So Bra Ayomide from Lagos State, we've just answered that question just now. Okay, this one says, thank you so much for this insightful business seminar. I feel truly blessed to be here. I've learned a great deal. I have a couple of questions. How can I rebuild my integrity and regain the trust of my clients if I have previously been perceived as someone lacking integrity? Then the second question is, how can I acquire land for my business valued at around 100 million naira, especially when traditional financing options like banks have not been successful for me? This question is from Bra Uzo Alekwe. So, sir.
Okay.
Over to you.
Let's go back to the first question.
Okay, first question talks about building integrity and regaining trust.
Now, the issue of integrity, like I said earlier, is key in business. It is key. Once you miss it, it is difficult to rebuild, but you can.
Okay.
It is better for you not to lose your integrity before a client than for you to rebuild it, because first impressions matter. In business, whoever does, if a client, for instance, gives you property to manage for him and you collect his rent and you are unable to remit the rent to him, either in full or in part, or you are not able to account for the rent, or you are not, there are some activities in the property. For instance, now I can tell you for free, there are people repair little things. They want to repair a property and you go to connive with artisans to make how much, and the client gets to find out. Of course, the person is not going to trust you any longer. He's not going to trust you again. Okay? Now, when that happens, if you're going into that kind of thing, you must know the consequences of your action. And if it happens the way it happens, you take responsibility for it. You have to take responsibility for it. It will take a lot of effort. It will take a lot of time for you to regain the trust of the person who feels betrayed by you in the course of doing business. So all I will do is I'll join you to continue to pray that the man gives you a second chance to now prove that you have changed. You are a changed person, and he can trust you again. It is something that is going to come over time, so you have to give it time. You have to be patient with him. You have to continue to apologize to him. You have to continue to show fidelity in what you are doing with him, to let him know that, look, it was a one-off thing. It is something that happened unintentionally, as it were. Even if for me, I don't know how to explain that. But it's something you have to work on. Let's look at the second question.
How can I acquire land for my business valued at around 100 million, especially when traditional financing options like banks have not been successful for me?
Well, it depends on why are you acquiring 100 million naira land for a business? That is where the issue of starting small comes in again. What do you need 100 million naira land in Nigeria now? Why do you need 100 million naira land? What do you have? Even if you are going to approach a bank, the bank will ask you, what are you putting on the table? Yeah. Because for you to ask a bank for 100 million naira, you must have something that you are going to show them that I have trust that this thing will work. You must have something that you are putting on the table for them to now make up and make you have 100 million. So why are you looking for 100 million naira? What do you have that you are going to present? What is your own savings? Where are you coming from? What kind of business? What business plan do you have? Now, if you have a business plan that will repay that 100 million, I can tell you, I'm telling you for free, banks are willing to sponsor businesses. There is a very big supermarket in Ago. I can tell you for free. That supermarket, 2 banks were fighting each other to give the owner of that supermarket money to build it, because the supermarket is located in a very strategic place, and they are sure that he's able to raise money. He has the business acumen to repay the loan. So if you have a good business plan, if you have your own resources that can support the loan you are requesting from a bank, if you have the business records to show, okay, this is what my transaction history is, this is where I'm coming from, this is the extent of business I have done, you always get finance. Most people think that money is, I don't have money to do business. Money is the last thing that will stop you from doing business. If you have a good idea, if you have a good business plan, if you have a good business idea, there are 1,001 people who are willing to support and finance that business because it's money. You're going to make money. So look into it. How much do you have out of the 100 million naira? How much? What I put it on the table? What do you want to? If you can't manage 10 million naira, why would somebody invest 100 million naira in you? Yeah. If you have never managed 10 million naira, why do you think people who win lottery always end up losing? Because they have never seen that kind of money. They've never seen that kind of money. So if they see if that money comes into their hand, they see is this? They want to outdo Dangote. They want to outdo businessmen. They want to buy private jet the following day. Before you know it, the money is fizzled out. It's gone. So you have to show where you are coming from. You have to show what you have done in the past. You have to show the kind of money you have handled in the past before you start talking about 100 million naira.
Thank you so much, sir. So one more question and then we are done. Okay, this is from Brad Collins from Lagos. He says, Shalom, brethren. How do you manage working with people as a business owner, knowing the fact that almost everybody cares about just themselves? For instance, if you intend going into intrastate transport service, how do you control the lapses that will come from poor human resource? How do you monitor and close the integrity gap?
Now, that is what the Bible says. It says, can two people work together except they be agreed? Human resources, managing human beings is a very difficult thing. Managing people is very, very difficult. So while you are employing people, you have to employ people who have the same vision with you. You have to be diligent to look for people who have the same idea with you. Where are you going to? Where are they going to? Now, I will tell you, let me tell you this story. I set up a truck business. And engaged a very close relation of mine. I don't want to tell you how close that relation of mine is. I put a very close relation of mine in charge of that business. Now, what he was doing was that he would go lose part of that truck and connive with the mechanic to sell it, and then we'll go and buy another one. And this is somebody that had no job, that will set up that business. I am a general, will set up that business to engage him so that he will be making a living out of it. Literally, that business was run down, I will shut it down. So if that is also, I'll also tell you another thing. If you are setting up a business, now I told you part of the business I do is I do consultancy for telecom companies. Now, that business, I don't run it, I run it from the office. But before I start running it from the office, I have done it personally. Okay. I have done it, I have taken off from my office, used GPS. I gave a testimony one day about our experience, the one we did in Niger State. Some of these places, you see them talking about Boko Haram and kidnapping. I've been there. All these places in Niger State, I've gone there. Most of those places. Now, what the physical experience does for you is that if you have done the field experience, somebody cannot come and tell you stories. Somebody can, if you are doing transport business, have you physically driven the vehicle yourself? Have you transported from here to Onitsha and back? So that you know how many police posts are on the way. So that you know where the vehicle, when they tell you that the vehicle broke down in so and so place, you know one or two mechanics along the way that you can call to go and check what is wrong with the vehicle. What have you done? Or you just buy a vehicle and give to somebody. I have also done transport business in Lagos. That is when that guy said that you don't need business and pay and it's discouraged. I tell you, I'm telling you this because I'm sharing these experiences with you because it's part of the training that I have received.
Yes.
That is why if I'm going to go into it again now, I will not fail in them. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so if you also now come to me and want to tap from if I'm guiding you in it, I will guide you, say, watch out for this, watch out for, look, be careful with this, be careful with this, so that you don't fall into it.
Brings us back to understanding.
Exactly. Do you understand? So I've done transport business in Lagos here. Now, Jerry is my partner. Jerry has this bus, transport bus, this yellow bus. Jerry was having problem with the person who was driving the bus. I said, bring it. The man, when I was living in Sierra Leone, the man I handed over that bus was a man who was staying at home, not doing anything. He was not doing, when I say not doing anything, he wasn't doing, every morning he was at home, not doing anything. The very first day he drove that bus out, he didn't come home. He didn't come home. He slept outside.
What happened?
Money came into my hands, and that day, what happened was, let me answer that. What happened was that he was so drunk that day that he couldn't come back home. Yes. So the money, and when he came back, do you know what is now? I'm saying the very first day. Wow. The very first day. So what he now came back and told me that he got to Akpongbo and that last time people arrested him. He didn't come home. So for you to do that kind of business, of course, you can't be a gentleman like me. Sure. The people who do transport business in Lagos are people who they don't wear suits. If you want to fight, you and him will fight. That money you are supposed to give to him, you must give it to him. If you are going to sell your wife, you are going to sell your children, if it is 1,000 you will agree you are going to give to him, you must give it to him. So you must have that on that. That is the way that kind of business works. That's the way it works. So if you are going to buy a highest boss like GU, you are going to be competing with GU of this world, and you give it to somebody, say, be transported from here to Abo, and then you go and put on AC, and you're lying down at home waiting for him to go and come back. My brother, that person would set up his own transport business, run down your own and leave that boss somewhere at Omunede and go home. It's reality. It's reality. So you have to, that is where your understanding of how each business, like I told you, has a secret. Each kind of business, there is a secret behind people who are succeeding in any kind of business. There is a reason why they are succeeding. Yeah. And everybody, except you understand the dynamics of that business, you will fail. So you have to understand what is behind people, how they are succeeding. Even the GU I mentioned, as big as he is, he has structures out of years of experience. He knows all the antics of the drivers. He knows what they come up with. So he guards against them. He protects himself. It's a very big investment. So you don't come telling him stories. You don't come telling him stories. You don't do that. If he does that, he will be out of business in a jiffy.
No time, yeah.
So for the brother that was asking about setting up transport business, for you to succeed, you have to be a man who has physically done the business. You must have, if not conductor you be, so that you know when he tells you the vehicle broke down at Paraga, or whatever they call it on the expressway, you know call this mechanic to go and confirm what you're saying. In these days of internet, you can do video and monitor what he is. Track your vehicle. Yes. You can track your vehicle and know. When I was doing that truck business, we put a tracker in it. If it's driving, I can from here key into it and know the speed the driver is driving while he's on Sokoto. Yeah. When he parks, I know where he parked. When he stops, when he starts moving. And the problem Nigeria, to do business in Nigeria is not easy. While you are tracking the truck itself, the driver that is driving the vehicle is stealing the diesel that is carried. And nobody knows him. You are the person that contracted to transport from them from here to somewhere. So when they go down, any shortage there is the company that's bearing it. So you have to look for people of like mind like you. People who, I don't want to say people, Christians, because Let it not be that.
People of integrity, basically.
You have to look for people of integrity. Like I said, that is what drives business. And you, ma, that they are doing the business for. Remember, let me also say this, for those of us who are business owners, remember, when you pay peanuts, you employ monkeys. When you pay peanuts, you employ monkeys. Now, the person that is running the business for you, if you get a good staff, if you get a good person, if you get a person of integrity, just like you are condemning the person that is stealing from your business, also encourage the person of integrity. It is not all about you alone. If the person is working for you and understand that he has a future with you, he will put in his best into it. But if it is him, he will take the risk, drive the vehicle from here to Onitsha and come back, and it is all about you and your family. You don't bother to know whether he has paid school fees. You don't bother to know whether he has eaten. You don't want to know whether his children are sick. All you want to know is you. Of course, we are all human beings. I'm not saying I want to support in such situations. If I'm working for you, I'll tell you a story. You don't say about it too much. I do property business. I don't work for you. I don't work for everybody. I don't work for everybody, sorry. Do I like money? Yes. But I don't work for everybody. If I work for you, you pay me. Because why I want you to pay me is because I will not steal your money. Any money I cannot pay title, I don't make it. I can't steal your money. So there's this man, very rich man. He built so many properties. I was managing the property for him. So, along the line, I now noticed, each time I send my fee note to him, he will stop picking my calls. He did it the first time. I told him, I don't work like that. I'm not looking for work. If I'm looking for work, I'll go to Igbo market and be carrying bags of tomato or whatever. I'm working so that you pay me. As I am now, I don't sell Coke. I don't sell Fanta. What I do is this property business. So if I work for you, pay me, because that is how my own bills are paid. He did it again, and I called him and told him, look, take your property. I'm not managing again. He thought I was joking, and that is it. I handed over his property to him. People were telling me, I'll just manage for him now. Tell him, let them be paying the money to you. I said, no. My agreement with him is that they pay his rent to him. I take records of the rent I collect for him, and then I send my fee note to him. He pays me the percentage we agreed. I'm not going to, in the middle of the road, now start asking people to pay the money to me. No, that would be stealing from him. I can't steal from him. Okay? Now, there are people who in that circumstance, they will justify themselves. What I'm telling you, the man went away with more than my 2 million naira. He asked me, I told him, go with it. I don't fight with people for money. Money cannot cause problem between me and you. If you want to take it, I'll leave it for you. Let God judge between me and you. I will not take your own, but if you want to take my own, take it. So you have to set your boundaries, know what exactly you want. Let people understand who you are. Philippians 4:5, he says, let your moderation be made known to all men.
Yes.
Let your moderation be made known to let everybody know, look, there are certain conversations that my friends will be discussing. When I come in there, they stop. Because they know I will not be part of that conversation. So it also makes it a lot easy for me. It makes life a little easy for me because I have already made myself known to people who are around me. Having said that, I think
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brother Sam Nkamachika. I'm sure from the applause in the background, you can understand that this was a very, very insightful session. I've been so blessed to listen to you, and I'm sure that every other person listening to you too has been blessed. I like that this last question came in about human resource. It's just like the person knows that we are venturing into the career session and we have a seasoned professional in human resource management who is going to be talking to us about career. We've heard about business. Now we want to hear about career. Many thanks to you, Brother Sam. We hope to have you here sometime again. There are so many questions that we couldn't get to. So we hope to have you here sometime again to answer those questions.
Thank you very, very much. I'm really happy to be here. I want to appreciate what you guys are doing in the Youth Fellowship. We will be Men's Fellowship. Yeah, people I don't know. Let me know. I'll talk to your leader. Don't worry.
Thank you so much.
But on the serious note, you guys are
you're
making us proud. I'm very, very, very happy with what I see the Youth Fellowship of our church doing. I'm very, very, very happy. I can't wait for my children to join you guys.
Wow.
I can't wait for them to grow to your age and join you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much once again, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go on a short break. And then when we come back, we will be speaking to that seasoned HR professional that I told you all about. So you're a 9-to-5er, you have questions about navigating your career path. This is the season and this is the time that you do not want to miss. We've talked about business. Now we are moving on to career. And just like Apostle Paul said, the essence of this whole business seminar is that we want you to prosper even as your soul also prospers. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Shalom and God bless you.
Never fake cause I'm in you. You already made me a beloved son. Always protected in your love. It's in you I find my peace. All things are working for me. Nothing they do can bring me down. Blessings they follow my life. So powerfully held by God. Nothing dies in my hand. I carry the favor and the wisdom of the Lord. Grace is working for me. Cause your love is more than you ever hit me.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, it is still the Business and Career Seminar of the Bride Assembly Youth Fellowship. We just had Brother Sam Kamachuku talk to us about the business aspect of this. And before we went on that short break, remember I told you that we'll be having a seasoned HR professional speak to us on career path. And this HR professional that we are going to be speaking to has over 12 years of experience in human resource management. So you know that we are not just talking to a greenhorn, we're talking to a veteran in this thing. I'd like you to take your pens and your pen and your papers and note down so many of the things that she'll be saying to us today. Also, she is currently leading HR initiatives as one of the leading banks in Nigeria. If you've heard about Zenith Bank, then yes, this is your person, the HR manager from Zenith Bank. Good evening, Chidima. We're pleased to have you. Shalom.
Prosper, I don't know, like you're basically, did you say something?
Yes, I said good evening. We're pleased to have you.
Hi, Prosper, I hope I got that right.
Prosperline.
Okay, that makes it more feminine. Okay, that's fine. You have really blown my horn. I hope you didn't overblow it so that people are not overly, hyped about this. But thank you for that introduction. And please, I would like to crave everybody's indulgence. I'm literally on the move. I know I had been contacted to do this a few weeks back, but I got busy. My schedule got really busy towards the end of last week up until this week. But because I've gotten committed to doing this, I had to do it. So I just left the airport. I'm on my way to the hotel. And I mean, just forgive me if I don't seem so coordinated or if I seem a bit distracted because I'm, trying to get settled down.
There's absolutely
yes. So I know that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For making time out.
Do I have the floor now?
Yeah. So let's just get right into it. Let's get right into it. We would want to know, when a firm or organization sets out to recruit, what are the markers that spotlight an outstanding candidate? So how do firms know that this candidate is fit for this role?
Okay, so basically, it depends on that particular role. So you know what they call job description. They'll probably attach that to most of the job adverts that you see, especially in this new phase of what we call social recruitment. That's why you see job adverts on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, mostly LinkedIn, even on Twitter these days, what you call X now. So there's something we call job description, and it sort of comes with the expectations for the role alongside the qualifications attached to that particular role, right? So if you're talking about the markers, that's what you will call the markers, right? The expectations and the qualifications. But how do you know that you stand out? To be honest, you can never really know. Can everyone see me? I feel like the light has gotten in. Again, I'm sorry, I'm literally just all over the place. Yeah. Is this better?
Yeah.
Can everyone see me?
It's fine, thank you.
So what people don't know is that you can't really tell if you're the person that's going to stand out, to be honest. I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. But those JD and the qualifications, JD's job description and the qualifications are more like guidelines that will help you know that, oh, okay, at least I'm fit for this role. Now, what I would tell people is, for example, if a company is trying to look for an accountant, they'll probably expect you to be chartered. So that's why you have your ACCA or your CFA or your ICANN, right? So that's more like a generic requirement, in my opinion. What I mean by generic is probably everybody has that already.
Okay.
But how do you make yourself stand out? What have you done differently outside of those things that I'm looking for? Especially in this world of work where there has been like some sort of a dynamic shift when it comes to roles. You see them expecting a CFO to probably have an understanding of retail, right? Roles are beginning to blend in. So there has to be something you're doing differently. Do you understand? So probably as an accountant, I want to say, okay, maybe I should also understand business analytics. If I add this to my skill, instead of just takes you out from the norm, takes you out from the bench, and now you're looking like a different person. Or they go, oh yes, so we have this. It's really for. I feel like companies also want to maximize candidates, right? They want to be able to get the best out of each candidate. So imagine if, for example, it's probably like an SME or small, medium companies are looking for an accountant, and they probably also need someone. They wouldn't mind someone that understands business analytics. Imagine being able to do business analytics and also accounting. That takes you just off the hook. Do you understand? So to answer your question, I would say just be able to do things differently. Make sure you have that extra that gives you an edge when it comes to job roles. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Chidima. Let's go into bypassing the applicant tracking system. Can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can.
So let's go into bypassing the applicant tracking system. It's sort of like a paper ceiling now in job recruitment or in job hunting, getting your leg through the door. So what would you say are some of the things that people seeking to get a job should have on their CVs or should do with their CVs that would enable them bypass the applicant tracking system?
Okay, so I would say that we tend to put all of the things that we don't need on our CV. There are lots of junks on CVs. We try to, as much as possible, show in quotes that, or we are doing a lot. But in honesty, to us, HR feels like a lot of junk, right? I would say just stick to the important things when it comes to your CV. As much as possible, for example, if you're entry level, I'd probably expect a lot of junk because you're trying to make me know that, you have some skills that I can work with. But when you're more experienced, I expect to be seeing some different things on your CV, and there should be more like action-driven points. For example, I want in your achievements, not just your daily to-dos or what you do, not like your daily tasks. For example, you can't come and say, oh, so I help with reconciliation, or in my job, I want to be seeing, oh, so I was able to achieve, for me in HR, I could say, oh, I was able to achieve maybe a 50% recruitment of my target, right? And I can say that, oh, okay, part of the candidates I've recruited have been on the system for so number of times, right? So you've been able to actually achieve retention. I want to see achievement-driven roles. I don't want to see the daily jargons that everybody seems to churn out. I want to see task-driven roles. I want to see achievements. I want to see what you have done. As much as you can, put yourself in a look at the recruiters as people that want to buy you. So you're selling yourself just right? So you need to put the things that will make you look good. Oh my God, as much as you can, please brag on your CV. Please brag on your CV. You did it. Brag. We have a way of appreciating those that know what they have and what they've done, those that own their achievements. I'm not saying you should come off as arrogant. No, we don't like that. But there's a thin line between being arrogant and also being self-assured about your achievements and the things that you have done, right? If you've done certification, put that in there, but just make sure you're not putting the ones that really doesn't make sense or really doesn't fit your skills. And as much as you can, please, I want to see like a growth trajectory in your CV. I don't want to see, the mistake that people make is that you see one person has gone through 5 roles. On a normal day, that's not bad, right? But when you're applying for a particular job, could you try and tailor your CV alongside that particular role that you're looking for? I don't see that, oh, the other day you're an accountant, and the other day you are in marketing, and the other day you're an admin officer. That's not, I don't see growth, right? But you can have a way of working around that. You can also just pick out important things on that CV that can speak to that particular role. So the advantage that people have when they've been through different roles, I'm not trying to put that down, is the fact that for each role, there has to be a takeaway. There is something that you're taking away from each role that can speak for a particular position that you're applying for. So that's my take on that.
Thank you so much. That's very insightful. I learned a lot from that. You mentioned, before you went into the details of what we want to see in CVs, you mentioned that there are a lot of unnecessary things that people put on their CVs. Now, as a hiring manager, what are some of these unnecessary things? So someone listening to us can go back and say, okay, I need to revamp my CV and take out some things?
Your level at the time. I made mention of that. So for entry level, I know that you see some entry level people putting probably what they've done during their NYSC, putting probably what they've done during their internship, putting maybe what they did during their coursework and all of that. I get that you're trying to probably just put things out there. But even in the course of doing that, I want you to just focus on the takeaways from all of those roles. Some roles that probably are not so important for what you're looking out for can be taken out. There are some extras that should not be there. So you don't want to, I don't have to necessarily know what your course topic is, right? You can just tell me that during the course, so I'm trying to focus on entry level because I'm sure they're the ones that will probably struggle with these things before I move into the more experienced hands. So you're probably trying to tell me that, oh, during the course, I can still remember what I did during my coursework. So I'm going to use that as an example. My first degree was actually geology, to be honest. So I transitioned from science to HR. So I know that during my course project, I was a project lead. And I know that one of the things that taught me was probably how to handle people and how to understand deliverables and timelines, because I had to coordinate a lot of people. I had to coordinate my classmates. I know what that means, right? I want to see your takeaways, like the skills that you picked up from your coursework during the course project. This is because you probably do not have lots of experiences to bank on, right? That's for entry level. And probably your NYSC, I don't want you to look like, oh, you're busy pushing papers or you're busy making tea for your bosses. I want to see that you probably paid attention enough to pick one or two skills that I can work with, if I want to recruit you. Because I mean, for entry level, where basically the company basically has to train you, to be honest. But I want to know that you're trainable and you've picked up some soft skills that we can work with, right? For experienced hires, I don't want to see your NYSC when you've had like 12 years of experience. That's you putting jargon on your CV, to be honest. Unless in some cases, probably those roles are able to speak to, what you've done over the years. I don't know why after like 15 years also I'm still seeing your NYSC. Really doesn't make sense to me. Also, for some experienced hires, I don't think I want to see your CGPA, to be honest, because I know for those that really has good CGPA, they might probably want to brag with that, but that's not what I want to focus on, right? Because we all know that there's a very wide margin and a very wide gap between what you did in school and what you're going to practice. Do you understand? There's a difference between theory and practicality. So I want you to be showing me the things that you've done. I want you to be showing me your achievements and what you've done over the years, right? And I'm saying achievements, not just the roles that you've pushed through over the years, but your real achievements. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So one of the things that most entry-level roles experience is or one of the challenges they have is the experience gap. You're coming into not just entry-level. I'd say in recruitment, you're coming in and they already want a certain level of experience that you should have gathered. And so for some people just coming in, even for entry-level roles, you might want to see 0 to 1 year of experience. You might want to see 0 to 2 years of experience, and then the experience level goes higher and higher as you progress. So what are some of the things that, especially those who are just starting out in their career, can do to gather experience? Let's just say fresh graduates. What can they do to gather experience to beat this experience gap? Okay, Chidima, if you're speaking, you're muted. If you're speaking, you're muted. Hello, Chidima, can you hear me?
Okay, sorry, I muted myself because I was talking to the driver, but I couldn't unmute myself.
All right.
Yeah, so you were saying that if I want to rephrase your question just to be sure that I captured it. Javier, could you please turn on the car light? You're saying that there are already expectations, right?
Yeah.
When from recruiters, you can turn it off, it's interrupting, sorry. There are some expectations from recruiters. They will say, oh, okay, you should come with 1 or 2 years experience when you've not been able to gather that, right?
Yes. How do you cover that experience gap when your job
To be
hunting?
honest, that can be so much of a struggle. I get that because you keep asking yourself, "Abeg, where they want make I get this experience from? Can they not say there are no jobs?" We get it and we understand it. But I know that one of the things that you can do, people will probably say, "Oh, in these current realities, that could be hard. Why don't you volunteer?" You can choose to work without being paid. At that point, you're probably focused. Of course, you're focused on your skills. But the issue that we have these days is that people don't understand delayed gratification. Economy is biting hard, and people want it here and now. Well, I've left school now. The expectations from mommy, the expectations from daddy, from friends that you should be bringing in someone and all of that. But you sort of need to crawl before you walk, right? So I would actually speak very well to volunteer. It still happens, right? You see some of these SMEs and some of these startups trying to look for people that can probably walk and probably give you only transport. Please jump on it. You pick one or two. And before you know it, 1 year is gone. So you need to choose whether you want to spend 1 year in bed going through your phone and lamenting about the economy, or want to spend 1 year trying to look for what to do. Do you understand? You can spend, they'll tell you, oh, okay, no, it's not enough. I need to bring in money. No, before you know it, 1 year is gone. Before you know it, 2 years is gone. And that's 1 year can catapult, those skills that you picked within 1 year can catapult you into a very nice career field. You don't even, funny enough, when you're entry level, sometimes you're not even sure. You're not even sure where you want to head to. You're not even sure of what you're going to be in future. It happens. Sometimes it's from those volunteer works they'll be able to pick one or two. And let me let you in on a secret. You see those SMEs? You see those startups that tend to literally use your life and call you every minute of the day? They are the ones that will give you the skills that you need, because they tend to drag you into so many different roles. They tend to expose you, they will stretch you. And that way you're being able to pick one or two skills. So I would advise volunteer work, please, if you can do it. If the job is paying you menial, please pick it up. If you see some charity organizations that will probably say that they won't pay you, please pick it. Volunteer to be admin. Volunteer to probably be able to coordinate things for them. There has to be something, one or two things that you can do. It's better to be there doing that than not doing anything. One. Number two, we are so privileged in this day and age that we can pick up so many skills online. All you need is data. All you need is data. There are so many skills. There are short skills you can do on Coursera. There are so many things that you can do, right? There are free tools online that you can go and pick up something or two. Okay, let me give you a scenario. Imagine an interview between two candidates, and I get to ask one person, oh yes, so I can see that you left school a year ago, finished your service about a year ago. Tell me, what have you been doing? And then that person goes, I've been looking for a job now, I've been searching, looking around and all of that, and it hasn't really been easy, you know, the economy. I'll be sympathetic. I'm going to understand you. I'll cry with you. But I'm not picking you up. All I can sense is someone that is lazy or someone that complains as far as I'm concerned, right? And scenario two, the next candidate goes, oh yeah, so I had to be part of the charity organization in benevolence department in my church, and I was able to work as a secretary. I was able to work as I coordinate, I organize them, go to motherless abuse homes. I coordinate fundraising in the church. I have to come up with speeches and pitches for church and all of that to be able to get funds. So that meant I had to work on my presentation skills. I had to work on my PowerPoint skills. Okay, and I was also able to do a short course on agile project management. So I'm able to, understand that what I'm doing is a project, and I have to pick up a skill or two. By all means, I'm picking that person that chose not to be at home, lamenting about the economy of Nigeria. That's the difference. You see this phone that we have and this data that we have, it opens our mind to a lot of things. You see people moving towards IT without studying IT in school. Give them 3 months, give them 6 months, they pick up something in IT. Give them 6 months, they're like trying to do IT. And from there, it's speaking. I know the funny thing. Companies abroad are busy picking people without experience just with certification. That's what people don't know. So you can choose what you want to do with your 1 year, with your data, and with your phone, and with your time. Difference between you and the next person is in that decision. I hope I was able to answer that question.
Yes, brilliantly. Thank you so much. So you mentioned volunteering, and that's one very key aspect that I think we need to look into. The speaker before you also mentioned volunteering. So I think one very big takeaway from this seminar is that we should be volunteers. We should learn to volunteer. So what would you say are the in-demand hard and soft skills that recruiters are looking for in this age and time? You know, I know that we are in more of a technological age than previously. So what would you say recruiters are looking for in candidates?
For hard skills, right, they're in mass, they're inexhaustible. There are lots and they keep changing. So for hard skills, that's why you're talking about accountants, the HR professionals, the IT professionals, OGs, sales professionals, and all of that. BDs, there are lots, right? For soft skills, I'm very particular about this because it might be easy to get hard skill, but soft skills tend to be overlooked. For example, are you teachable? Can you work with a team? Are you malleable? Are you flexible? Some people say, oh no, but this is what, especially Gen Zs, I look at them and I laugh. They will tell you, oh yeah, so my offer letter says I close by 5, so I go home by 5. It's okay, no problem. You will see them, they leave their line manager sitting in the office and they'll carry their kaya and they will go home. Not a problem. You don't see them trying to go to their boss to say, oh, but how can I help you with this? What are the things I think I can help you do with this thing? Right? Are you able to stretch yourself? Right? Emotional intelligence. How are you able to handle conflict? Are you a team player? You know, these things that people tend to just chuck into their CVs like it's nothing. They actually do play out in the bigger picture in organizations. Especially when you work in an organization as big as mine, we see that you can quickly tell the person that will go far and the person that will not go far. It's so easy to tell. Do you understand? So there are soft skills that you can't even play with them. Do you know that soft skills also drives hard skills? Because if you're someone that can push, if you're someone that is tenacious, these are all soft skills. It sort of pushes you to gain that experience that you need to develop the hard skills. So there are things that you can't even play with, and they're also sort of inexhaustible. But these are like my top picks because I know that I see these things at work every day. I mean, it's. I don't want to use some certain words, but it's really quite an experience having to work with Gen Zs. Every day they shock you, and you're like, what's going on here? So I feel like everyone just has to understand that these are things I need to pick up. It's not, they keep saying, oh, I don't come this life to suffer. You're millennials, no, we do things differently. It's okay, we do things differently. But millennials are the ones that are pushing boundaries, they're the ones that are owning banks, they're the ones that are breaking milestones, because we had to learn how to work hard, right? You won't be able to go far without your soft skills. They are the ones that will keep you going, even when it feels tough. There are skills that you need to be very deliberate and intentional about developing over time. Do you think that, oh, you're impatient? Please work on it. You're going to have managers that will try your life. Do you think that you have short attention span? Please work on it. Do you think that you can't work for a long time? Or maybe if I work for more than a number of hours, I get tired. It's something that, oh, should I learn how to take breaks in between? Right? Please work on it. And of course, there are also the hard skills. You're developing your skills, developing like the other skills. You're doing your certifications. Please. This is something that I can't even overemphasize. Don't sit in a place and not push yourself when it comes to certifications and courses. I get really disappointed when I pick up a CV of someone that probably graduated probably like 7 years ago, and I'm seeing just a BSc. Please, why? Please, why? At some point, your BSc stops to count. I want to see more. I want to see more. You're an accountant. Oh, please, I want to see ICANN. Trust me, I want to see CFA. I want to see ACCA. I want to see something in your HR. Please, I want to see CIPM. please, I want to see GPHR. I want to see something that shows that you're trying to, because those things actually has a way of making you push yourself. For example, I know that after I graduated from school and I had to venture towards, I had to pivot towards CIPM, towards HR. So I had to do CIPM first. It wasn't easy for me. It wasn't easy for me because at that time I was in a bank, not this bank that I'm in. I was in a bank. I was literally working the Monday to Sundays in the bank. So that meant, and I still had to go to school. Then we hadn't started, doing online. Life is even easy now. I still had to go to school. I still had to find a way around it. I still had to write my exams. I was reading on the road. You know what they call Lagos traffic? I'll pick up my phone and I will be reading. I had to maximize traffic time. So do you know what that taught me? It taught me discipline. It taught me not to complain, to up and jump. Throughout the 2 years of getting that CIPM, I was actively working and I was studying. It wasn't an easy one. And that was what also helped me years down the line when I was trying to do my GPHR. That's like one of the hardest courses I can do in HR. It's a global certification headquartered in the US. So that sort of helps you practice HR anyway, right? And it pushed me because they would tell you that you have to give 6 months of your life to get GPHR. This is me with an active career, team lead in Zenibang. I had teams to manage, I had deliverables, I had KPIs, I had timelines, and I had to study for GPHR. It was a lot. I didn't have a life. Life was on pause, right? So again, because I had learned, I had nurtured myself when it comes to discipline, whilst I was trying to do my CIPM, it was just easier for me to dive right into that. It was easier for me to be able to study and push through. And I can assure you that I've done oral certifications and I've also done harder things over time, even with my quiz. Because, it never gets easier. Don't look for a time when it gets easier. No, it never gets easier. It gets busier. Especially if you're intentional about growth. They keep giving you roles that will push you here and there and all of that. I am on a trip. I am working. I am studying. I wake up 5 a.m. every day to read. I don't care what time I go to bed. 5 a.m., I'm up. I am reading. Today, I've cut about 4 hours of studies. Oh my God, my battery is running low. I've cut about 4 hours of studies before 10 o'clock, right? And I had to jump out to do other things. So yes, I hope I spoke to the soft skills and the hard skills.
All right, thank you so much, Chidima. You've just brought to mind one of the favorite quotes of Tai Solari when he says, "May your road be rough." Not because he wants you to have hardship, but because smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. We'll have to let you go now. I just got your notification that your battery is down. We would have loved to have you for some more time, but
do you have more questions?
Just one or two.
I can log on with my phone.
Oh, that would be nice.
Just to wrap up, but it means I would have to go out and probably log on with my phone.
Okay. So this is what we'll do. Would have you with us next time. Would have to invite you next time. We'll be looking forward to it. This looks like it's in a rush, but we really sincerely appreciate the time that you took off to do this.
I'm literally on the move. I told the driver to keep driving around just so I don't get interrupted. I told Sydney that I had short time for this.
Thank you.
But yeah, next time, I'm always here. I'm somehow connected to the church, and I'm always there next time. So
we'll look forward to having you next time. Hopefully, this time in a more serene environment, so that we can tap from your wealth of knowledge. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for making out time to answer these few questions. We are sincerely grateful.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me too. Thank you.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye. Okay, so that was a very insightful one. No matter how short it was very insightful. So if you're somebody who is looking for a job, at least you know the 1 or 2 things you need to do on your CV that would get your feet through the door. I think right about now we'll call it a wrap. I just want to go over the things that we've learned today. We've had Brother Sam Nkamachuku, Bride Assembly's Youth Fellowship President, and he has Men Fellowship President. I beg your pardon. The Bride Assembly Men Fellowship President. And he has told us a lot of things about setting up a business. He taught us about intentionality. He taught us about understudying someone, having a mentor in that business that you want to go into. He taught us about having integrity. And most importantly, he taught us about the importance of prayer in business as a Christian venturing into business, because everybody has a source. And so you have to have a source that keeps you going when things go beyond the physical, because things would always go beyond the physical as a Christian. And just now we had Chidima Udoye, who is a professional, a HR professional, talk to us about some of the things that you need to get your feet in through the door and to also sustain your career. We'll be having both of them back some other time. We don't know when, but we'll be having both of them back some other time to throw more insights. And hopefully we'll be having more professionals come and talk to us. Because here in the Bride Assembly Youth Fellowship, we are not just interested in your soul. As according to Apostle Paul, we wish above all things that you prosper even as your soul prospereth. That'll be all from us. Shalom, and God bless you. I remain Sister Prosperline Onyejiaka until I come your way next time. God bless you.